On the Track is a web TV show about cryptozoology, natural history, green issues and whatever else the team feel like making up as they go along. Enjoy!
So what's in today's show, Mr. John?
Well, Harris, this episode we're going to go back to Somerset to finish our conversation with Daniel Barnett about his research into the mystery animals of his area. Enjoy.
I really like the old credits.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Downs. This is Archie the Dog, and welcome to another episode of On the Track.
But Dad, what's happening over there?
And that was the make-believe chickens halfway through their compost heap jamboree. My name's John Downs, I'm the director of the Centre for Fortean Zoology, and welcome to another episode of On the Track. Every Wednesday evening at about 6:30 for a quarter of an hour or so, and every Saturday afternoon at 3 for twice that we bring you a makeshift mishmash of hard science, weird shit, and surreality. What's surreality? Well, let's ask him.
Hello, my name is Lambert Simnel, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
And anyone with even the slightest modicum of memory will remember last week I introduced you all to a new friend of mine, a young man called Daniel Barnett, who has started his own Fortean Research group in Somerset and is in the middle of a fascinating investigation. Now, I want to congratulate Daniel before I go any further. I think he's a remarkable young man. He's doing a very, very good job, and I'm very grateful that he's allowing us to be part of it. Here is the second and final part of our conversation.
Now, we went home that day, and I take everything into account. Now, I'm not a paranormal believer, but again, I have an open mind on whether it is real or not. But it's a very big coincidence that both me and William had headaches for 3 days straight. William had a headache in the evening. Now, I don't know if that's something to do with something called infrasound that this creature is meant to do. I don't know. Now, skipping right along then, we climbed down this very steep ridge and we had to use a rope. And both me and Jill found a bedding area, which looked like a tree structure, but it bent tree over, and it was just soft bedding. Now that's weird. That humans won't climb down there to build that and go. No, that doesn't happen. Now this was probably a 10-minute climb, so and it's just a ridge, but we had to use a rope. We had to use helmets to get down there. So then we decided to have a look at the front of the forest. Now, when we got there, there was a deer carcass everywhere. I mean, ribs, bones everywhere.
One
Now,
dead animal spread out.
yeah,
What's it called? Dismembered and spread over.
yeah.
Do you know which species of deer it was?
Would have thought it's roe, and it could have died of old age, and then like pheasants and that came to take the bones or something. It's just odd.
I've come across that. I've come across dismembered roe deer twice. So yeah,
Have you
it does happen.
really?
And what you said about your headaches, I know that as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm trying my very best to not admit that there's something there, but it's getting harder and harder to dismiss. It really is.
Well,
Now,
from what you're saying, there's something there. But is the something a flesh and blood creature, or is it something else?
yeah, and that's the question. And we have a lot of questions that has blown our mind. Now above this deer was the biggest pile of scat ever that I've ever seen. It's big bulls that, what is that? What is that? I'm like, I know what deer, rabbit, foxes, badgers, all the animals that are there, I know that it's not that.
Does it look like human?
No, it didn't. But it's too big to be cat. It's really weird, John. It's I don't know how to explain it. Now next to this scat was a teepee. Small teepee. And if I took a stick out, it would all go everywhere. Your facial expression right now is exactly how mine was when I looked over this. Now,
You
I
don't
don't
know how
know.
great it is
Yeah,
for me to hear somebody describing some of the stuff that I saw 30 years ago.
wow. It's if I skip on because you're gonna love what I'm about to say, and I still don't know the answers to it. On the so if I tell you how long this ago was, it was last week. This was all last week. We've been investigating that forest for the last month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we came back from that forest. Our last trip there was Thursday. So this is very recent.
Now
Very recent.
you are, I hope, documenting all of this with photographs.
Yeah, I am. Very, very indeed. And I'm very willing to send you anything. And a lot of these photos are at the event and are now this bit here that is gonna surprise you. I have collected eDNA, environmental DNA from the footprints, tree structures, indentations. I've sent it off. Now, this was 6 weeks ago, and I'm sorry.
Which laboratory did you send it to?
I sent it to someone in Portugal. It's a big company. I can't remember the name, and we are expecting the results back any day now. Literally any day.
Did you take a sample of the scat?
We didn't know, but we found a hair sample inside, and it's currently in a fridge in the garage at Jill's house.
Because if you do get a sample of that scat, I would suggest you send it off with a covering letter to the guy who runs our lab is Lars Thomas in Copenhagen, and he's done DNA tests on scat samples to us before.
Has he? Wow.
Admittedly, they both turned out to be brown bear, but they look like they could have been almasty. They're ones written in Russia.
When when we get the DNA back, it will depend on that, on where the investigation goes from there. Now, I don't know what we're following, but I know for certain there is something. And I'll tell you this.
Have you put up trail cams?
Yeah, we have. And we have done through night, we've set peanut butter, apples all over the forest. But on last Tuesday, we got to the bottom of the ridge, and William was with me at this point as well. We came across the biggest tree structure I've ever seen in my life. It was 15 feet tall. It was exactly what people in America have seen. Now, we were taking photos, right? And I was going to get Nan to come down and have a look. I went to get her, and I felt this uneasy feeling, right? And then she came down, we put the tripod there, and we left. Now, I was doing another interview that evening, and I was looking on my phone. People were saying, "Is that Dogman? Is that Bigfoot?" I looked on it and went, "It's a tree structure." I looked closer, and there is, in the back of that tree structure, this black head, 2 ears, no definition to the face, and I was shocked to see that. And that photo was taken.
Does it look solid, or is it a mass of complete black?
It looks like a shadow, or I want it to be a shadow. Now, when that photo was taken, and this is the scary part, William was alone. He was there with that thing alone. Now, we went back there on Thursday, and because it's a ridge, this thing went on the ground at all. It was hard. It was halfway up a tree.
Can you say that again? The black thing was up the tree.
Yeah. So what we thought we were looking at eye level, in the photo, it's halfway up a tree. Now, we saw nothing whilst we were there, but there's this part of forest left, and it's like that. We were stood on the main trail here. The tree structure was here, and whatever it was eye level, so it must have been in the trees. Now, that's freaky.
That's freaky.
I'll say that. Yeah. And the most scary part about...
I'm proud of you, Daniel.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
so proud. This is fantastic.
And I'll tell you this forest is 15 minutes from where I am right now.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Have there been other reports of Bigfoot type creatures? Let's use the word Bigfoot, even though it's probably not accurate. But have there been other reports of man-like creatures?
So we've had one very close to our area. We've had a lot of screeches, a lot of sightings on the Quantock Hills. That's where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a lot of sightings of UFOs and stuff like that. Not as much Bigfoot on the Quantock Hills. I'm starting to think that there is something there. Now, we've done calls there, we've done all sorts and got no reply from it. We've had smells there that have smelled absolutely disgusting, and it's all seemed happening in one concentrated area. Now, this forest is probably about 3 to 5 miles long, so it's not a big forest.
No.
Now, whatever this was, now we found some every day on this investigation, honestly, every single day. Thursday was the only day that we didn't find anything. Maybe that was because we weren't looking, but my thoughts are, whatever this is, has now made itself quiet. whatever it was that was there was not making any secret about it being there. But now it's either left or making itself very, very quiet.
Or moved on somewhere completely.
Or moved on, yeah. Now all that is very, very weird.
This is very similar. I know what I'm going to talk about at your conference now. Back in 2003, Richard and me and a couple of other CFZ people, together with a mate of mine, used to run a paranormal research group outside Newcastle. So I borrowed a whole bunch of them, and we went to investigate a series of sightings in a forest just north of Newcastle, about 40 miles north of Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
And me and two of the other people saw something. So
wow.
I've seen, I think, what you've seen.
Wow. That's incredible. That honestly is. And I have every photo under the sun. I honestly do.
And
I will
back it up.
Yeah.
Because in this business, make another copy and give it to your grandmother, or get it, put it in the airing cupboard or something. Because in this business, evidence disappears.
Yeah.
Whatever these things are, they do like to play games with you. Oh, this is so exciting. I am really, really pleased you contacted me last night.
And that's the aim of this job for me. For my job is not for the publicity, not for it's to find out what is out there. People ask me, do you want to find Bigfoot eventually? My answer is no. I don't want to have a Class A sighting because that won't prove anything. What I want to find is evidence of this thing being here, and I want to leave it alone. The reason why is because then we can work on that and leave, because as human society is currently, this thing would be better off living its own thing, if you agree with me on that, and kind of just investigate it, but leave it alone, if you know what I mean. And that's a lot of people's opinions, but a lot of scientists say that we need to find this creature. So it's a kind of opinion-based thing. But what both me and my team have seen, I can't explain it. I really can't. And I have no answers. I have contacted Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum, Amy. I don't know, Amy Boo. She's a researcher in Ohio. I don't know if you know Doug Hijack. Yeah, I've contacted him. He's been on the podcast, and all of them say they have no idea. So the top Bigfoot scientist, Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum, has said he don't know what it is. And obviously he's quite poorly at the moment. But I've sent him hair samples as well that he could possibly test.
Have you still got some hair samples?
I have the hair samples from the scat still in fridge, yes.
Good. Because whenever you send off samples, don't ever send off everything you've got.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And the bloody thing is now telling me I've got 10 minutes left.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got a meeting to go to at 7. But first of all, how did you get involved? What first got you interested in this stuff?
It was when I was sat and Gramps just had a program on, and I sat with him, and my cousin sat with me, and we just watched it, and I was interested from there. I was just interested by the moment of that, and I'm like, brilliant, let's investigate it. Now, what I'm trying to do that now is get people together and get children interested now. Get children interested into what Bigfoot and UFOs and big cats and all sorts, to get more researchers out there, more researchers into the forest, stuff like that, to start to build a community that respect cryptids and start, because we may get some answers from that. And that's what these events are about, are trying to get people to come. And that's why then we've got talks going on. We've got you come in. We've got loads of people coming together to get loads of people there to see this and to see the investigation that is going on into this world of mind-blowing stuff.
I couldn't put it better than that. You know what, Daniel? You are very much like me, except 50 years younger and without the silly beard. But I think this is brilliant. I'm really looking forward to a conference. How many people do you have in your team at the moment?
So, my team that work on the expedition podcast, stuff like that, I have me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6, 7. Oh, 9. 9 people who work on podcast, expedition, and events together. We have 9 people.
Well, I think that what you're doing is absolutely fantastic, and you've got the same attitude towards this that I've got. The same attitude I've always had to this.
Wow.
And if there's anything we can do to help you, please just shout me. Daniel Barnett has, as I said earlier in the show, an open day coming up. And it is being held, let me see if I can find out where it is, because my memories are utterly rubbish. It's at the Purple Spoons Cafe, Highbridge, Burnham-on-Sea, which is in Somerset. And it's on Saturday, the 18th of November, and Richard Freeman will be there, Jackie Tonks will be there, I'll be there. And it's actually going to be the first public speaking thing that I have done since Karina died, just over 3 years ago. Thank you very much for inviting me, Daniel. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to it, and how much I'm looking forward to meeting you and your team.
If you want to support us and help us make more content like these, please press like, subscribe, follow our Facebook page and check out our Patreon.
And there's the ghost of Joe Strummer, who's an ever more regular visitor to my little house, will tell you. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, otherwise you won't be told when the next episode's gonna be.
And that would be an awful pity, wouldn't it?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is valid for this episode. I want to say a big thank you to my producer, Louis Rosier, except I can't say a big thank you to him because he's still gallivanting around the colonies pretending to be a cowboy and a king of the wild frontier, and all sorts of other comedic Western tropes which I can't think of for the moment. But I'd like to say a big thank you to Richard and Jackie for introducing me to my guest this week, Daniel Barnett, and a big thank you, of course, to Daniel, not just for coming on the show this week and last week, but also for inviting me, Richard and Jackie to appear at his event next month in Burnham-on-Sea. I'll be back next Wednesday. What am I going to be doing on Wednesday? I have absolutely no idea. But I'll be doing something. And I'll be back next Saturday. I can tell you roughly what I'm going to be doing next Saturday's show. We've got Dave Scott and one of Canada's leading Bigfoot hunters. And by the way, just in case you didn't know and didn't remember, Dave Scott is the boss of CFZ Canada. He took over earlier this year after dear Robin, who was the previous boss of CFZ Canada, had to leave for health reasons. I'm still in touch with her and she's still part of the CFZ family and we're very fond of her. So that's it. And so, next Saturday, are you listening, Mr. McCrinnan? Next Saturday, if you're there ready to see the show, and I'm there watching you and doing the live chat and everything else that I do, and you're there and I'm there, I'll be seeing you.